it's Sharon here. Welcome back to my channel for those who are returning, and welcome to any new subscribers that may be visiting for the first time. So I've been trying to figure out which task I wanted to do first, and I've just realised it's probably only about half hour, maybe 45 minutes before hubby comes home. So I decided that I would have a little play with some tags and journal cards. So I wanted to show you, I have cut out all of the journal cards that came with the kit, and I would really like to include as many of them, if not all, if possible. So with that in mind, oh, there's even more because I started inking off camera. So there's these ones as well. So I was trying to decide what to do next, and I've got some index cards, large and small, wrong one, large and small. So I've decided to use those because obviously they have writing space on the back, and they've been tea stained. So there's two of those here. And then for this one, I've decided, I looked at the pattern paper on this side, and it's not very busy with graphics, so I've decided to use the opposite side because I just want to try and incorporate some of the, they all have these beautiful colors on the back, and because they've been so busy with graphics on the other side, I haven't used the backs very often. So I've decided with this one I'm going to use the back of the paper, and this is a tea stained file folder that I've just cut into a journaling card, and I'm going to cut that to size. So hoping you can see okay. Just really going to line it up against this, and I try and cut it with scissors, but I'm not the world's straightest cutter, so that gives me another little scrap. Okay, and what I'm thinking is I might sew all the way around this to attach this and create a little pocket with a journaling card on the back, and then that gives me space in here that I might be able to tuck one or two of these little journaling cards. Now there was some, just looking, there's some bigger postcard size which I think are too big for this. So I need the next size down. So something like this, for instance, could sit in there quite beautifully. And I could pop a little fabric tab on the top. But I need to embellish the front somehow, so I'm just sizing these up. I think this one was just under, so I might just leave that as is and have a slight frame on either side of that card. And I think this one is just over, so I just want to cut this strip off here. I'm just thinking, because this paper is double-sided, maybe I should make them cards, because that would give journal space on either side. Maybe I'll do that. I might make them a card, and maybe I could join them with a fabric strip. Okay, let's think about that. I love it when I change my own game plan once I turn the camera on. Or I could use collage paper. That could work. I'm thinking, sorry guys. Okay, so let's cut let's cut the bottom off this to start with. Don't need that. And there is a slight edge on this paper as well, which I'd like to I'd like to remove that. Either my paper isn't straight, maybe I have cut it actually. Okay. Okay. So I'm thinking about 3/4 of an inch. Should be plenty. Maybe even a half. We'll try a half and see how that goes. No, I think I want a 3/4 inch strip. That just looks a little bit too small for my liking to offer the stability it needs. I'm actually going to cut 2 of those. I must be the only person in the world who uses their guillotine. So it's a Fiskars guillotine, and every time I use it I pull up and this little blade comes out all the time. Okay, there's paper dust everywhere. My favourite kind. Now, where was I? So I'm thinking and our strip isn't quite long enough to double over, so we will have to use a second piece. Okay, so I might see if I can score. I don't know how successful this will be, but I love working in confined areas. It's like the walls are closing in on me slowly. Okay. Let's go. Oh no, that won't work. I'll move it. So at about 3. And this should help me line up my papers to try and get them a little bit even when I put them down. Well, that's what I'm hoping anyway. Now, I didn't actually think about that because rivers become mountains, don't they, Gayle? And I perhaps should have scored 1 from the opposite direction. Trying really hard not to go through the paper. The last couple of times I've scored paper, I've ended up pushing through it, which doesn't help my cause. Okay, so I'm going to fold this now. And I think I've done that right. We'll soon find out anyway. If I'm going to do it wrong, it's when the camera's on, so. And again, I was just turning the camera on to embellish, decorate. I wasn't planning on doing this, so nothing like jumping right in. Okay, so I need my glue book. And I just want to remember how I'm laying these out before I start gluing. Okay, and I do have an edge there. I'm not sure whether I'll keep that or not, but I'm kind of okay with that for now. So I'm going to glue this, just using my glue stick. I need to do, no, I think I'll do that and then cut it off. So I only want to glue one side. Oops, a little piece of glue there that might fall off. I don't really want it to. And of course I glued the wrong side, didn't I? Oh well. Hoping this won't take away from the pretty graphics on the paper too much. Although I am using a really pretty piece of collage paper from Antique Papery. Oh no, that actually looks really pretty. Although I should have inked that first, so I might ink this piece now. Okay, let me cut this piece off to size. Okay. Oops. I hope you didn't see that, but you probably did. Okay. Wishing I had the foresight to see that I needed to do this before I glued things down, but never mind. Better late than never, right? Okay, and I'm going to see if I can. And I would normally ink that, but I kind of messed up by not doing it first, so I do want to. Oh yes, I do like that. Okay, and I need to do the inside. I thought I was done. Doesn't really matter if I get ink on there, does it? Okay, and inking this one while I'm going. There has been a little bit of pilling with the paper. I hope that's the right word. The paper quality obviously is the best, so when I've tea stained it, it's added a little bit of almost peeling to the paper. I don't know if you can see. I think this side is a bit clearer. So you can see it started to bring away little fibres. But it kind of adds a bit of a texture to the paper, which I'm liking. So, oops, today. Got stuff sitting all over the place. Okay. So then just gluing that down. Not sure I got enough glue up there. Okay, I'm just going to burnish both of those down, and I have left myself a tiny, probably a 1/16 gap in between the cards. I'm hoping you can see that, just to allow a little bit of fold room. And then I'm going to take this strip and I'm going to ink it first. Okay. And I don't really need to do the whole thing, but I am while I'm on the go. I've got myself into a rhythm then, and it was like somebody had the maracas going. I think I went to the Caribbean or something then. Oh dear. And then somebody said, wake up. Okay, so I think I'm going to do one side at a time, because that way it will help you line it up. And I probably just put my glue down way too low, but that's okay. Do I want to ink? I want to glue both sides, I think, while I'm at it, but I'll just do one side at a time. Don't know how this will go. Okay, and then gluing down the other side. Oh yep, I was just like, I hope I got the orientation of that paper right. A little late to think of it now, but anyway. Okay, and then that is a little bit tacky still, but cutting that down and just inking that side. Just running my nail across the crease. Okay, so that's our little journaling card, and then because the intention was to add a pocket, and technically we haven't done that so that we could use these journaling cards, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe cards do I have here that I want to use? So I decided that card was good with that one. They're just a fraction too big for what I'm working on. They're too tall. So maybe one of these. So if we create a little pocket there, okay. Sorry, I don't have to work out what I'm putting in there at the moment, but I'm just trying to figure out what I have to work with. It seems the majority of them are up and down, and because of the orientation of this, not a lot will work, but that may work in there. Okay, so I glued this together for a different purpose, so I'm not going to use that piece, but I did have my book, or one of my books here. So just getting a piece of paper out. Just thinking my other option, instead of having the pocket going that way, maybe I could do like a side pocket. And do a couple of these that way, maybe. I don't really want to cover up that writing, but maybe. I think they're quite sweet together. Now I don't know which way to go. Maybe I'll save those for a different one. I might still make this one this way. Okay. Sorry guys, it's all very highly technical apparently. Probably should have straightened this page before I started gluing. Now my glue is going to be wet. Okay, I wonder if I can tear it. Oops. Okay. And I was kind of thinking about there. That one maybe. So I'm thinking about stitching the pocket on, or stitching around the pocket before it goes on actually might be better. So if I do that, I want to allow myself enough pocket area above the stitching. Okay. So sometimes I feel like I'm the slowest crafter in the world. I watch people like Gayle and Tracie and they fly through 1,000 projects in one video, and then there's me, and I sometimes feel like I struggle to, oh, isn't that pretty? I feel like it's just too big for that. That's a shame. I feel like I struggle to get through one thing in one video, and I'm like, how is that even right? I don't seem to have their knack for, I don't know. I don't even know what it is. I just know I haven't got it. Oh dear. I don't know whose channel it was I was watching. I think it may have been Tracie and her journals that she's been doing as part of her product testing. I'm really sorry, I can't think of the brand name. I know it's not something that I can access here, which made me very sad. The paper that she was testing for the journals when she was making them, the papers looked amazing. Tracie's channel will be linked in the description below, so by all means go and check that out if you haven't already, because I was like, I want to get that paper. How can I get that paper? And I did a little bit of Googling and came up trumps. I couldn't find it in my country, so that was a little bit disappointing. But anyway, Tracie has just pumped out these journals, and I think in one video, I think she did about, I don't know, 5 tags or 6 tags or tags and pockets, or I'm like, I'm still working on one. And it's almost been half an hour. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe it's because I don't have a clear plan when I turn the video on. Maybe that's my problem. Each time I do it, it changes. The last 2 times I've turned the camera on, I've lost my words. I've totally changed my mind once the camera has gone on, which is definitely thrown me, but maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe I need to stick to my plan. I like it when things just take me on a whim though. Clearly I'm not a planner. I like the element of surprise, because I'm going to end up with something quite beautiful here, and it's not what I had intended to create at all, but I'm excited. Okay, now do I want that showing? I kind of like that there's layers, but I want something, I think, underneath it. And I'm thinking a little bit of music paper. I do want a slightly straighter edge, so I'm going to tear this piece down here. I don't necessarily need it to be seen above the pocket, I'm thinking, because I like the idea that there's journaling space there. But if I add this to the bottom, and then pop my pocket, whoops, over the top, when I close that, just adds a little bit of decorative. I like that. Okay, let's go with that. And I will ink all the way around because I don't know how much will be seen once the pocket is over the top. It's kind of fun to create something on a whim. Probably been done before, and that's totally okay, but like I said, it's not what I had intended to do, so it's kind of fun just going for it. Okay, so I'm going to glue across the bottom of this. And then across the top. I just had a thought of something else I could have done. I could have actually attached that to here and then turned that whole thing into the pocket, which, you know, maybe next time. Maybe I can do that with a different one. Okay. And I think I'm going to stitch around that before I glue it on, which is probably a really bad idea because I've pushed my sewing machine back and it now has things in front of it. So I'm just going to do that off camera, sorry guys. Just thinking my glue will still be wet. Maybe I'll wait until that dries properly. So that means I'll be doing that off camera. Sorry about that, but that book page is still, I can feel it's, the glue is still wet, so I don't really want to gum up my sewing machine. Okay, and then on the back, I just had a little thought. I thought I was done, but I've got this little fish washi tape here, and I think I might pop a strip of that across the bottom. How fun. And a little bit unexpected. And it still leaves plenty of journaling space. because once the pocket is down and there's something in there, they can always write on this section here as well. And then they have this section here. So I'm going to add some extra glue. And I did actually purchase this washi tape for this journal. And I only looked at it yesterday and went, I still haven't used it. I really haven't used washi tape a lot. Partly because I've had limited supply. And partly because I just wasn't sure how to incorporate it, or I don't know. It's just not been a go-to for me, so I purchased a couple of washi tapes. I think I did a video on those purchases when they arrived, and I got quite a few new beautiful washi tapes before I started this journal, and I've just got to get myself into the habit of thinking about the fact that they're there and available. That's really fun, actually. I feel like it'll be a nice little surprise for the new owners of this journal. The scissors have stuck to the washi. I'm trying to open them and they wouldn't move. Okay. So just burnishing that down from the opposite side. And I need to attach that pocket and our little journaling cards. So I'm going to ink those up. They've got journaling space on the back of these cards. They've also got journaling space. They could write on the back of this one. So it actually adds a lot of options as far as journaling or placing photos or whatever they want to add to this. Okay. That way. So that will be how I place them in there. I think I want a second safety pin paper clip on there just to hold everything in place. Okay, so that's our little, and I love that you can see a little, it's like a little peep of what's underneath. And then opening it up, we have our little pocket, and there will be sewing around here, and then I'm gluing that down. And then that fish washi on the back. I hope you can see that. I'll bring it closer and move that paper clip so you can see the detail. A little bit of fun. Okay. So I'll move on to the next one. So this one I think I will turn into a pocket. Okay. So it will be a journaling card with a pocket, effectively. So I want to ink both front and back. I have been trying to film this journal from start to finish. I'm not making any promises, but that's been my intention. I just feel like it's taking so long because I have limited myself too as to when I can film. As you know, I don't like to film when hubby's home because I don't like to feel like he's listening to me because it's weird. Okay, so I'm thinking I'll have plenty of room to zigzag around this one, and I think that will be a really nice touch. And I want to just place a paper clip here, and I have here some little scraps and things. Oh, and I'm going to have a look at this. Too straight. Okay. Actually, can I just mention how much I'm loving having this ephemera folder here and organized? And Gayle Agostinelli, you are amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your idea for this. I've lost my words. I'm just so overwhelmed with joy for your idea with this ephemera folder, because it is so amazing to have this here to just flip through. And I mean, it's taken some organization, don't get me wrong, but I just love the fact that I have this here, that it's a go-to for me now. Now I'm not finding what I'm after. Where have I hidden them? Oh, here we go. I feel like my little mandalas from Noir Art, and I think it's noirart.15, at noirart.15, I think, on Instagram, but the link will be below. I'm feeling like I want to use one of her images. I'm wishing I had have printed them off and made them square. I might do that. I might leave that and see if I can print some off on the brown card. And maybe another colour and make them square instead of the larger ones that I have. I've made them all circles. So I'm just not feeling like that works for that space, but I do like that brown card over there, so I'm going to do that off camera. Although quite like that. These are just some little tickets that I made. I used my Cricut and cut them out of some spare scrapbooking paper that I had in my stash. I just created a pro forma for the little tickets myself using the shapes that they have available. And now that I've done that, I think I like the mandala this size, so go figure. What else do I want to add to that? Okay, so have I got a little piece of scrap somewhere? I don't have a lot of scrap in this paper. I'm just going to get my tag punch if I can find it. Sorry. Okay. Do I like that? I don't know. That's two same, although that's quite nice on that side. I wonder if that would work better. Thinking if I do it this way. I was actually looking for this little scrap a moment ago and I couldn't find it. Didn't realize it was on the other side of my desk. Oh, I just slipped and moved that. Well, that's disappointing. I wonder if I can cut it smaller. Probably won't matter. Because I'm going to tuck it behind. It's kind of feeling somewhat monotone, isn't it? It needs a pop. Oh, what about something like that? Oh dear. I'm going to leave it like that. I just had a thought. I was thinking a large label, partly because I can now. I've only just purchased these from Tracie Fox's LoveJunk journals on Etsy. I think I like that, guys. And can I move that up? I may even sew those down. Don't want that. Trying to work out which way this lace goes, and I'm thinking it's the wrong way around. I think that's it. It's almost record time, isn't it? I feel like it is. just goes to show, because prior to now I really haven't had an ephemera folder with lots of different choices in it that I could choose from while I was creating, so I think that's making a big difference. Okay, so I'm just going to glue those down off camera, and I'm going to, I think I may sew around the mandala. Maybe I'll do that now actually. Don't want that level with it was kind of the same angle as my ticket, and it looked unusual, but I think that's the way it needs to sit. So I'm wondering if I should make that more of a, I think I like that, just a little bit different. Okay, so I'm just going to sew around this. Okay. I've got to remember which way around that was. I think it was like that. So I'm going to take this off here. And I'm going to attach these now. So this is my first time using this really large address label, and I love it. I love the way it just makes that space pop. Oh, hubby's filling up the wood box. Sorry about that, guys. I just want to check my placement. I like that the fabric is just sort of teasing over the top of that. Okay. I've usually used my fabric glue for this, but I believe this glue is okay for fabric as well, so I'm going to try it out. Keep our fingers crossed. Just bringing that down a little bit because I want that little ticket to adhere. And as usual, I put too much glue on here. Oh, it's seeping out everywhere. I'll cut that little piece off shortly. Okay. I am sticking to the table. I'll clean the rest of that up shortly. But I'll sew that on, and I'll sew the other pocket, and I may create my other little pocket off camera, and once I've finished I will pop them all onto the end of this video to show you all how they've come out. So thank you so much for watching, everybody, and for joining me while I've created these. I look forward to seeing you soon. Don't forget to hit like or give me a thumbs up if you like what you see, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. And happy crafting. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now, everybody.